very difficult for me. I don't have much time. You see, something's going to happen. You must leave. What? What's going to happen?
Mistake them for the truth. The real danger is that if we hear enough lies, then we no longer recognize the truth at all.
Why would I have anything to say to you? All you do is lie.
What else is left but to abandon even the hope of truth and content ourselves instead with stories?
It's the role of good journalism to take on powerful abuses. And when powerful abuses are taken on, there is always a back reaction.
Take an animal virus and you increase its transmissibility to humans. Right. You're saying that's not gain of function?
That is correct. And Senator Paul, you do not know what you are talking about, quite frankly. And I want to say that officially.
When you report fake news, which CNN does a lot, you are the enemy of the people. Go ahead.
About is the reality of goodness, not the perception of it. And what I see all over the place is people who care about looking good while doing evil. Fuck them. Okay?
Welcome back, Habbening Bros. It's another episode of Habbening TV. Yes, we are so back after a brief period of it being so over for about a week. Yes, I have returned from the great and terrible United States of America. And I can tell you, bros, it is exactly as it has been portrayed overseas. Yes, everybody is incredibly fat and armed to the teeth. Walks around saying stuff like "yo" and all that kind of other stuff. Yes, I was at the Old Glory Club conference in Tennessee. It was great. It was such a magical time. It was a bit jarring because before and after that, I was in Memphis, which is a very it's a very black city. Here it's very black. I can't even do the accent properly. One thing I have learned from being around the seasoning Americans is number one, Boondocks is absolutely correct. That is really how they are. And number two, a lot of Americans, black Americans, are very racist. Like, not necessarily against the whites, but against the highly seasoned Americans. Yes, Memphis is a bit of a wasteland, bros. At least downtown. I didn't really check much of the rest of it out. I'm not really into like Elvis or country music or the sort of civil rights movement. So I didn't really do the, the whole like museum thing. I just went and shot a whole bunch of guns, which was pretty awesome. But the streets of Memphis are sort of filled by random homeless, sort of wandering, seasoning Americans, a very, very different breed to the actual hard-working blacks that you see like around. Talk to a bunch of cab drivers and stuff like that. It was weird. Old Glory Club conference, of course, was extremely white. Such an incredible concentration of artistry in one room. I have never seen it like, bros. And if anyone watching this met me at the conference, a shout out to you all. It was lovely. It was very, very special. We had an excellent after party afterward at the Graceland Hotel. Shout out to Yiz the Eunuch, who unfortunately can't be here tonight. She has come down ill, as have a bunch of people after the conference, because they didn't take their ivermectin, bros. I keep telling them they got to take their horse paste. So yes, there will be no Empire of Lies tonight, by the way. But don't worry, we will be back with an extra special episode next week as soon as I get the script written for it. You know what I mean? Yeah, it was amazing. It was only like, sort of about 3 days. There were like tons and tons of talks on everything from sort of, the legal theory behind constitutionalism to Deleuze and cyberpunk. And, it was great. It was really, really good. Excellent bunch of people. Everyone I met there, thank you so much. And of course, whilst I was away, did the news pause for me? No, they didn't. I left specific instructions that the news was to go on hiatus until I got back. I remember leaving very, very clear instructions. I wrote a very, very stiff letter to all of the usual people, and my stiff letter was ignored, bros. I can't believe it. Yes, the news kept marching on. So much news. So basically tonight I'm going to be covering the the UK election stuff. The EU elections came out as well. A lot of this stuff I could probably do a whole episode on, but I won't. I'm just gonna, sort of go through it and give you sort of like the basics of it. It's lovely to be back, bros. Let's see who we've got in the chat. Fox39 Forever, good to see you. Captain Crisps, great to see you again, man. Who else have we got? Oh, excuse me. That's everyone in Rumble. In YouTube, we have Timmy Robinson and Streaky Bacon. Good to see you, bros. And in Odysee, we have Jeffrey Mill. Only the hardcore tonight, bros. Only the hardcore. Of course. So, yes. Wait, actually, I should have done the summary. See, I'm rusty. But a basic summary. Tonight, we have all the UK election manifestos have been released. I'll be going through them. 0 Seats is basically massively taking off. Dr. Nima Parvini, academic agent, seems to have memed this into existence, and it's now being covered by quite mainstream people. They've done like polls, and 0 Seats is totally a thing, bros. And the Conservatives are crapping themselves, as well they should be. Perhaps if you'd actually done something during the 14 years you were in government, you wouldn't be in this position. Of course, they can't come out and say the reason they can't do anything is because they are beholden to their masters in the international government. But, they're going to get destroyed. Labour, of course, is all like, everything's great. And Reform are coming up strong. Nigel Farage coming out and basically doing the forbidden move, bros. I couldn't believe it. They are actually questioning whether the Bank of England should, do stuff differently. And I have reliably been informed that you can't question the Bank of England. If you do, everything's going to collapse. So there you go. That's a summary. Today's meme. Everyone's voting, I hope. Remember the 31-year-old voter. He votes very, very hard. What aren't you going to vote? It is your civic duty. Genuinely thinks that his lone vote will save the world. Has seething hatred for anyone who doesn't vote for his party. Oh yeah, I'm voting. I'm voting extra hard, bros. Spends 30 hours a week reading and watching news. Thinks him somehow being informed matters. Well, look, it's my job. I've got an excuse. What's your excuse? Can't discuss anything but news when out with friends, annoying everyone around him. Doesn't realize he is just brainwashing himself with CIA propaganda. Still foolishly thinks that the people have the power like a child because he doesn't understand. Elite theory, bros. Has no goals, thoughts, or ideas beyond what the media spoon feeds him. Livia Drusilla in the Rumble chat. Good to see you, Livia. Thanks for coming along. Oh, it's good to be back, bros. It is good to be back. So, without any further ado, let's get on to the news. Right. So, I'm just going to start with this. 0 Seats is a thing, bro. 0 Seats is a thing. It's now gotten to be such a thing that they're actually running polls on it. This is from yesterday. A quarter of 2019 Tory voters now think the party deserves to lose every seat. 0 seats, bros. Polling shows half of all voters think the Conservatives deserve to be totally wiped out amid fears of a Labour supermajority. Oh no, Labour get a supermajority. Well, it's probably going to happen, which means I hope everyone's like ready for digital ID, because otherwise, how are we supposed to control immigration, bros, right? Like, you know, I wish we could do something else, but really, we've got to have digital ID. And how about a central bank digital currency while we're about it? And how about a digital government run by AI? Yes, all of these things are yours, regardless of whether you vote for them or not. There are certain things that have been decided by people above your pay grade, right? They don't ask the plebs what they want. What would the plebs know after all, right? This is the future. And this is the kind of like branding that the Conservatives are using. It's just tired. It's just old. A clear plan, bold action, and a secure future. Yeah, well, you did absolutely like crap for the last 14 years. You could literally do anything. Crispy13 in the chat as well. Good to see you, bros. Missed you, Fist. Thanks. I missed all you guys too. It's not the same. It's not the same. So yes, nearly half of all voters think the Conservatives deserve to be totally wiped out, meaning a recent pivot by the Tories to flag the dangers of a Labour supermajority might not be as effective a strategy as they would hope. Yes, their strategy should have actually been doing something while they were in power, but it's too late for that now, bros. It's too late. Public First surveyed 2011 UK adults between June 7 and June 9th on what they expect and hope will happen when voters go to the polls on July 4th, which is like, about 3 weeks away. And 46% of people agreed that the Tories deserve to lose every seat they have, including 24% of those who voted for the party in 2019. Just 35% of people disagreed with this statement. I'm going to go out on a limb, bros, and say that this is not something that can be recovered. The Tories, of course, are basically throwing everything against the wall, lying their asses off, saying, like, look, if you vote for us, we promise to do all the things that we couldn't do during the last 14 years, but no one believes them anymore. I think basically it has reached such a point that they can promise the moon. They know they're going to lose. The real sort of strategy is to make sure that they are not totally annihilated so that they wind up being the opposition instead of reform. And it is starting to look like there is a chance that reform might actually be the opposition, which would be hilarious, bros. Like, man, that would just be... just if Farage gets into Parliament. But if Farage gets into Parliament and he's got actually a party behind him, constantly sticking it to Starmer, I might actually start watching PMQs again because it's going to be funny. So they're like, we're gonna cut tax, we're gonna cut your national insurance, we're gonna cut stamp duty, all these things that they could have done. If they hadn't printed all that money for COVID, but they did, so they are screwed. Again, this is their graphic design. I mean, what? It just looks tired. It just looks old. I mean, maybe it's to my eyes, but I don't know, man. So I've got a summary here for you. We're going to go through a summary, all of the manifestos. Not those kinds of manifestos, not the ones where you're going to go and shoot up a school, but the one where you're going to go and shoot up an entire country. So, the 2024 Conservative Manifesto in full, bros. Immigration, top of the line. So they've suddenly realized, now that an election is happening, that people didn't want immigration. I was absolutely told that to want less immigration was extremely racist, bros. Oh my God, I can't believe that they are pandering to the racists. Wait, how many racists have we got in the country now? It seems like over half of the country are now racists. So I don't know how effective that strategy is going to be moving forward. So they're going to work with other countries to rewrite asylum treaties, which will take forever. A regular rhythm of flights to Rwanda every month to remove illegal migrants, which is never going to happen. Prioritize national security over EHCR membership. They could just say that they're going to pull from the EHCR, but they won't. Stop illegal migrants challenging their removal in the courts, which they can't because of the Supreme Court. Clear the asylum backlog and end the use of hotels housing asylum seekers. Well, how are you going to remove the asylum backlog? What, you're just going to grant all the applications and shunt them into the ocean? Introduce a legal cap on migration, which will be reduced every year. Yeah, they won't say what the cap is either. So very, very clearly, they're planning on doing this whole thing. Well, it used to be $500,000 a year, and we have now reduced it to, 450,000. Yay! And let Parliament control how many places are offered to asylum seekers. Man, what a crock of shit. Take another 2% off national insurance. Abolish national insurance for the self-employed. Guarantee the state pension will not face income tax. Maintain the national living wage and not raise income tax or VAT. What about reducing income tax and or VAT? Oh, no, we can't do that. We can't do that. The Office of Budget Responsibility might brief against us, and we can't have that. Of course, they got a bunch of this sort of appeal to the boomers stuff. Ban mobile phones for children in schools. Yeah, good luck enforcing that. Mandate 2 hours of PE in every primary and secondary. You could have done some or any of this if you actually cared, right? Introduce the Advanced British Standard to replace A-levels. Expand academy trusts. Create a register of children not in school. Oh, that's not good. Presumably that means they'll be going after homeschoolers. Teabagging therapists and proper pictures. Yo, bitches. Good to see you. Parents have the right to know what their children are being taught. Clear age limits on what children can be taught in sex and relationship school. Introduce national service. It's just, yeah. They're just gonna do all the things. More universal credit. They know they're going to lose. They know they are going to lose, bro. So they can just publish whatever they want, really. Excuse me. Right. Streaky Bacon. YouTube is not letting me post for some reason. What did you do, Streaky? Did you do a bad? Did YouTube see you do a bad thing? Oh, and of course for net zero, the great sort of thing in the the sort of elephant in the room. They're apparently going to bring back North Sea oil again. They could have done this 5 years ago. Build new gas power stations, carbon capture, scale up nuclear power again. You could have done this years ago, right? Cut the costs of climate change, but they're not actually pushing back against net zero. They're not we're not going to do net zero or any stuff like that because, more houses, God, it's blah, blah, blah. Bugger off. Now, this is, of course, Nigel Farage. Reform is coming in hot on the heels of the Conservatives. Check it out, bros.
For Wednesday morning, a very busy week campaigning all over the country. And of course, yesterday saw the launch of the Conservative Manifesto. Guess what? After 14 years of failure, they're going to cut your taxes and reduce immigration. Do you believe them? No, I don't think anybody does. But Rishi says you mustn't vote Reform. If you vote Reform, you will let Labour in. That if you vote Reform, you'll be giving Starmer a blank cheque. Well, hang on a second. The last poll out last night shows us 1 point behind the Conservatives nationally. Now, we're behind in London by quite a bit. We're behind in Scotland by quite a bit. But we are leading. We're ahead of the Conservatives in the North East, the North West, Yorkshire and the Humber, the East Midlands, the West Midlands, and significant parts of Eastern Region too. In those seats where we're ahead, actually, it's a vote for Rishi's Tories that will let Labour in. And as for a blank cheque, do you know what? The real blank cheque would be for the Conservatives to be in opposition. Why? Number one, they'll row amongst themselves. And number two, Labour will simply blame the Conservatives for the next 5 years. That's our ambition. We want to be the voice of opposition to what is going to be a Labour government with a big majority stuffed full of incompetence.
To stay updated, you are more than welcome to follow me, Ruby Yona, on social.
Right, yep, screw that. Okay, so look, as you can see, Reform is basically totally nipping at the heels of the Conservatives. Obviously, they're never going to get ahead in London because London is full of lefties and migrants that are never going to vote Reform, but the rest of the country seems to be getting behind Reform quite spectacularly. This is the Reform UK manifesto, and their marketing has been on fire. So they Nigel basically launched this thing saying it's going to be the Great British Tax Cut. Man, what a great phrase. You know what I mean? Zero income tax for anyone under 20,000. Scrap VAT on energy bills. So this will save everyone about $1,500 a year. Abolish business rates for small high street businesses. Fast track new housing on brownfield sites. Prioritize social housing for British people. Ooh, that's a bit racist. Look, it has been firmly established by now that all the sort of mechanisms of the government and all welfare must be pivoted towards the non-British. Oh my God. I can't believe there's a racist running in this election wants to actually do something for the British. Oh, God, bros. Oh, good to see you, Nick Zen. See, my heart attack was interrupted. Life skill classes at school. Scrap interest on student loans. Accelerate transport infrastructure in the north. Increase the farming budget. Subsidize agricultural apprenticeships. Write off student fees for nurses and doctors. Hire 40,000 new frontline police officers. Increase defense spending. Leave the EHCR. Introduce the British Bill of Rights. Scrap net zero. Fast-track nuclear energy. And introduce a free speech bill and mandate single-sex spaces. I love it. I love all of it. Now, of course, it's very, very unlikely that they are going to win. But in opposition, they will be able to like sit there and like basically keep saying to Labor, why aren't you doing any of these things? I thought you said you were like part of a Western liberal democracy, which of course, Labor isn't. Let's see, what else have we got here? Now, this is quite interesting. This is the great British tax cut that they've been talking about. Check this out.
You can't tax your way out of a crisis. No. You've got to grow your way out of a crisis. And that's why we're confirming what we call the Great British Tax Cut. Yes, you see, we're the party of the workers. We know how hard it is. We know how people are suffering, are being suffocated by this burden of taxation. That's why the right thing to do, totally contrary to what the Tories have done and the Labour Party seem to accept. Now, the right thing to do is to make work pay. So let's lift the starting point at which anybody pays any income tax to £20,000 a year. That's still well below the average national salary, but well above the current level, which is about £12,570 a year. That means actually net in your pocket every year about an extra £1,500, almost £30 a week. Crucially, that frees up some 7 million people from paying any income tax at all, which just proves that Reform UK is the party of the workers. It will also change that calculation for many people who are trapped on benefits. Does it pay to go to work for how many hours a week or not? Work is a great thing. It is mentally stimulating. It's good for your health. It's good for your family. It's a great example to your children and for your local community. The more people we get off benefits, that also helps the Treasury in terms of the finances.
Interestingly enough, Richard Tice has clearly been taking speaking lessons from Nigel Farage. His whole vocal tone has now altered to be more like Nigel. But the really interesting thing is this. So one of the ways that Reform wants to save money is by stopping the Bank of England from paying interest on bank deposits that are being held by the banks. And this is a very, very underappreciated sort of expenditure. Check this out.
How does this work? How are you going to pay for all of this? Listen in carefully. This will cost about, give or take, depending on how many people are in work, about £40 billion. Now, you've all heard of the Bank of England. I'm going to talk you through what's going on, because frankly, there is a negligent scandal going on that I've been talking about for 12 months, and I think people need to understand. The way to pay for this tax cut is to rearrange the way Bank of England organises the interest, the debt payments that it makes on all of what we call the quantitative easing, all that money that it printed in the financial crisis and during COVID. Bear with me. Just imagine, and don't try this at home because it's illegal, but imagine your neighbour is struggling a bit financially. So you say, well, I'll tell you what, I'll print off a couple of 20 quid notes on my home printer. You print those two 20-quid notes off, you give them to your neighbour. You've helped him out of his hole. You've done him a right favour. Why on earth would you then every year pay interest at base rate on the money that you've just printed and given to your neighbour to help him out? You've already done him a favour. In the nicest possible way, he doesn't need another favour.
Now, yes, Fox 39 Forever, patronising side. Yeah, but like he is about to try and explain complex economics to the man on the Clapham omnibus, which is always a very, very hard sell. So I think he does a pretty good job of it, actually. Check this out.
That's exactly what's going on with the Bank of England. You see, the Bank of England essentially printed over £800 billion. Impossible to imagine what that number is. It's a big number. And currently, all of that money goes through the system and ends up back at the Bank of England every night. And overnight they pay interest at base rate, currently 5.25%. You might say, so what? Well, I'll tell you why. It adds up to a lot of money. And this money is taxpayers' cash that's being paid to the rich city institutions and commercial banks. How much does that add up to? About this year, based on current interest rates, about £35 billion or more. That's about £700 per adult in the United Kingdom. Last year, it was give or take £20 billion.
So, I mean, look, this is a really, really good point. No, not only is everyone paying because of the inflation that was generated by printing all of that money, but instead of like locking in the interest at like, 0.5% or whatever, they instead made it free floating and it's now up to like 5.5%.
This is real cash. This is real money. It's your money, and it's being used to enrich the city institutions. And it's a voluntary decision by the governor of the Bank of England and his monetary committee. I repeat, it's a voluntary decision to rip off the taxpayer and to enrich the city institutions. And I believe it's got to stop. I've been talking about it for a year. Now, you might say, what does Richard know? Well, I'll tell you, if you don't believe me, what about listening to two former deputy governors of the Bank of England? And if you don't want to listen to them, what about listening to a left-wing think tank called the New Economics Foundation? If you don't want to listen to them, what about listening to the economic...
Now, I think this is kind of like stupid, but I see where he's going here, because the first thing, of course, they're going to say is, he doesn't know what he's talking about in terms of economics, because, supposedly economics is this esoteric science that only the most retarded university people are allowed to understand.
Commentator for the Financial Times. Yes, Chris Giles. And if you don't want to listen to them, you could listen to other economists like Patrick Minford, Julian Jessup. And if you don't want to listen to any of them, of course, the ultimate arbiter must be the journalist Robert Peston. Robert agrees with me and credits me with the first person to actually talk about this. This is real money, and I believe that it's gross negligence to be doing what the Bank of England is doing. It didn't matter when base rates were effectively almost zero. But now at 5.25%, this is real, hard cash being used to enrich the city institutions.
Now, I fully expect, if it was any of the major parties going up against the Bank of England, they'd be like, no, you can't. No, the Bank of England, we have to make all of that money so that the elite can continue doing their stuff. Ainid88 in the Odysee chat, good to see you. Always nice to have new people. Tice is the asset clearing party of true dissidents for Farage to take over. Yes, it's true. It's true. Reform is the containment party, but I think at this point you really got to take the W's that you can. Based world is not going to manifest itself, and unless they take the sting out of the people wanting based world, they're going to be in deep trouble. Now, Farage, of course, has been subject to a bit of political violence. Now, if he was a woman, if he was a lefty woman, if he was a black trans lefty woman, every single paper would be like, oh no, the political political violence. Yeah, like, you know, stop hate and no. But it's Farage, right? So all the media coverage is like, well, you know, I mean, you know, he's a bit of a divisive figure, and he probably deserved it. Basically, it got a bit worse the other day when like someone started like chucking bricks at him. I think. Check it out. Now, much to my surprise, this guy was arrested. Perhaps he should have considered being a black lesbian before, you know, attacking Farage. Maybe they figure, like, in the middle of an election, it wouldn't look good if they just started letting people go who are, like, throwing stuff against political candidates. It could look a bit bad. Anyway, on to Labour. Oh, God, look at this picture. Oh, mate, where's my rainbow vomit emoji? Oh, mate, I just feel sick looking at this. So it's like the smugly meme. We are the very smug party. We are going to rule you with a smug fist of smugness, and you are going to like it. And if you don't, we'll look down our noses at you very smugly and say, you don't know what you want. Really, this is why we need a technocratic elite. And Labour is that technocratic elite. Change and growth. 5 key takeaways from the Labour manifesto launch. Starmer faces skeptical questions on tax as he seems to convince people that politics can make a difference. Yeah, because they're gonna hike taxes. They are going to hike taxes. Just like token black guy. Yeah. We're literally back to like the wait. Okay, let's have a look. So we got a token black guy. We have a token brown. We've got, you know, women everywhere. It's a very white party, bros. Very white supremacist. Oh God, I can't believe it. When is everybody going to call Labour racist for not having the rainbow dildo? Are any of these people even gay and trans, bros? I can't believe it. Yeah, it does kind of look like Labour have basically sort of pivoted back to like Blairism. They have sort of like relentlessly purged the far left of the party. Apparently they have like now like a purity quiz that you have to like go through, and you get like points, and if you don't meet the threshold, they won't have you in the party. And all the far lefties are basically like screaming and molding and seething, you know, which is great. And so, you know, I'm not as, I mean, obviously it's going to be like digital ID and central bank digital currency and all that kind of like other stuff, but at least we might get a sort of quasi-competent government that can actually wield some kind of power. It does look very much like AA was correct, and that we are sort of back to Fresh Prince in the sense that, excuse me, oh, Plasma in the Odysee chat. We got all these new people on Odysee. Lovely to see you, bros. I'm going to canvass for people to spoil their ballots and write fucking traitors on them. I support this message. Yeah, look, it looks like we're all back to Fresh Prince. You know, it's a white country. You know, we have some blacks and browns. You know, we have some like women. But you know, it's England. I guess we're going to like see, where it goes. So, Labour manifesto, bros. Are you pumped? Are you pumped? Oh, mate, I'm so pumped. The Dark Lord has touched me in a very, very special place, and I got Blairism all up inside my jacksie. Now I can't wait for the next turn of the technocratic wheel. I will be first in line for my central bank digital currency and my digital ID. I tell you what. One of the great things about being on a large government database is you always know that somebody's watching. You know, it's nice to know that they care enough to peer into every little facet of your life. So, no surprises from Labour. Yeah, I'm okay. If you want politics as a pantomime, I hear Clacton is nice. Oh, See what I mean? Like, they're already smug, right? They were like, you want to vote for another party? That's not what the proper professional people would do. Everybody knows Nigel Farage is a joke. I mean, he wants to say stuff about the Bank of England. Oh God, fuck off. So yes, there's no magic wand, there's no magic money tree, fucking no. Growth is king, so they're going to have plenty of growth and wealth creation, but they're going to jack taxes at the same time. So I don't know, like how they're going to like do this. Look, I'm sure if the government spends and borrows more money, National Wealth Fund, and the new Great British Energy Fund, which is going to be like great, because they tried this before. It's not an actual energy company, it's just an investment fund. Basically, they pour like a bunch of taxpayers' money into, and then they sort of give it out. You got to remember, these people are Fabian socialists, and the sort of crucial idea behind Fabian socialism is sort of incremental sort of steps towards socialism through the New Deals, right? This is basically what the New Deals are. And although Nick from Hayes Reviews isn't here, if he is watching, shout out to you, Nick. I've had a lot of fun listening to his podcast, Fabian Freeway, on Hayes Reviews. You should check it out. It's good stuff. But yes, it says basically in there that the Fabians are like, the way we advance it is through these new deals. And things like the Great British Energy, the Green New Deal, these are ways of sort of advancing technocratic socialism. So wealth creation is our number one priority, but of course, the way we're going to do it is by sort of taxing and redistribution, not by like letting people actually make their own money. So they're like, so they're very, very cagey on tax rises. They're going to do it. RJ Cheever loophole, good to see you, sir. Yes, we're back after a brief amount of It's So Over. We are so back. So basically, this is a sort of political slimy way of saying, yeah, there's going to be like way more taxes. Not ruled out increasing some taxes that are not income tax, national insurance, VAT, or corporation tax, which means there's going to be like a bunch more like tax increases. Standards. They're going to reform the House of Lords. Great. New lobbying bans on ex-ministers and fines. I guess that could be like, good, I suppose. And offering hope and change, bros. Are you ready for some hope and some change? Mate, I hope we get change, bros. I really hope. I hope for change, because we haven't gone far enough. Bros, it's very, very, very clear we haven't gone far enough. There's still so much work to do. We have barely done a communism yet, bros. For many people, they have had the hope beaten out of them. You ain't seen nothing yet, bros. You ain't seen nothing yet. Don't worry, it's going to be a fresh start. After all the horrible stuff that they have done to us, it will be a fresh start this time. You know what I mean, right? I mean, look, as much as Blair is the Dark Lord, right? At least he doesn't go prancing around saying that the most important fucking thing in the world is like gay rights and shit like that. So, I mean, maybe I have been beaten so hard by this point, and I'm just like, look, can I possibly get the sort of like lesser form of torture? Always effective. So yeah, more nursery places, breakfast school clubs, but they're still doing the whole net zero thing, by the way. I think I've got an article on that. Yes, so this is from about a week ago. They're still doing the 2030 clean power thing. But I mean, if they pivot to nuclear, it might not be so bad. Remember, literally everyone with a brain has been like, why the hell don't you just use nuclear? Nuclear is clean as hell, right? Like, no, we can't do nuclear. Nuclear's bad, don't you know? It's, atoms. The atoms might escape and everyone might get some like uranium in their eye. So they're basically like, we're gonna have like blackouts. Well, here, wait, who's this? The energy sector. So this is the Tories basically saying, instead of 2035, they're gonna do 2030, of course, because Labour is part of the sort of international Fabian alliance. I guess the real question is how many people want to do the whole let's starve everyone to death Bolshevik style. Excuse me. Versus the sort of degrowth, let's just sort of half starve everybody. Net zero. See, look, it's a graph. You see the graph, bros? See the graph? The graph, look, it's going down. Number go down, bros, So the Labour Manifesto, all adults to receive a genuine minimum wage, more inflation, increase NHS appointments by 40,000 a week, so more migration presumably because they're not going to be like training like English doctors, create a new border security command to tackle criminal boat gangs. So again, they're going to actually stop the boats, which will have like basically zero effect of net migration. You notice they don't really talk about immigration at all. No increases in national insurance, income tax, or VAT. Cap corporation tax. Launch the Great British Energy with a windfall tax on oil and gas giants. Great. Crack down on antisocial behavior with more police and youth hubs. Sounds a bit racist, right? What if... Oh, Nick from Hazy Review, I was just shouting you out, bro. Thanks for coming along. Good to see you. We were just talking about the gradual creep towards Fabian socialism in the Labour Manifesto. Hire new teachers by ending tax breaks for private schools. Now, this is very, very disturbing. This might actually put tons and tons of private schools literally out of business, shut them down, and thus flush a whole bunch of students into the public school system, which is, of course, already breaking under the strain of all of the migrants. I know, I just did a racism, bros. Voting age for 16 for all elections. Now, this is a very, very interesting policy. I have a feeling they might actually walk this back because they just did this in the EU, and what they discovered was that a bunch of like young'uns are actually far right, bros. I know, they did. Oh my God. So look, getting all the 16-year-olds to vote is not necessarily, because they obviously assume that all the 16-year-olds are lefties, but increasingly the young are swinging away from the left because the left are retards and they have to grow up under like speech restrictions and all this kind of other stuff. Absolute commitment to UK nuclear deterrent. So, World War III, basically. New security agreement, World War III. Move the current budget into balance, ensure the debt is falling, keep mortgage rates low, 2% inflation target, which definitely won't happen. More like loophole closing, modernize HMRC, and tackling tax avoidance. Well, how would they do that, bros? Hey, I've got a great idea that I just literally thought of this moment. What if we had like a digital ID of some kind, and maybe, like a central bank digital currency that had complete transparency to the government so they could just take the tax out at source, bros. Now, that's a great idea that no one has ever thought of before. Embrace securonomics and resilient foundation. I have no idea what the fuck that means. Securonomics. Woof. Corporation tax, Royal Mail. I mean, look, they probably will make the trains run on time, at least. Better roads. You're going to drive an electric car whether you want to. I presume this means they're going to nationalize the railways, AI. And again, they want to crack down on crime, crack down on antisocial behavior. And I have very, very bad news for you, bros. It seems to me that they are seriously contemplating cracking down on antisocial behavior, even if it's being done by people who are not white. And this is very, very dangerous, of course, to our democracy. If there is one thing that modern democracy means, it is that if you are not white, you should basically be able to do whatever the hell you want. So obviously I'm very much against this. Introduce respect orders. Oh, mate, the double speak. What's a respect order that will ban people from town centers? Oh, great. So, you know what? They're just going to like lock you in your home, basically. If they like work that in with like the speech codes, we could always, well, that's all right. I'll just shitpost from my bedroom then. Fuck you all. Every young person caught with a knife will be referred to a youth offending team and receive a mandatory reoffending prevention plan. Ban ninja swords, zombie blades, and machetes. Yeah, you realize that it's only the people who follow the law that will, like, obey these bans? Fuck, these people are so fucking stupid. Why can't I get a knife license? Specialist rape and sexual offences teams in every police force. Again, I think they might be going after people who are not white. Fast-track rape cases. introduce domestic abuse experts, so, more power for crazy women. Legal advocates, new criminal offense for spiking. More shit for the NHS. Yeah, look, you get the plan. It's all the good things and none of the bad things, right? Because I like good things and I don't like bad things. How about you, bros? Do you like good things and not bad things? Lib Dems, who fucking cares? Better GPs. They also want to give 16-year-olds the right to vote. Proportional representation. Scrap the House of Lords. More environmental regulation. Rejoin the EU. Renewable power. Reverse tax cuts for the big banks. Taxes on social media firms. Etc. I mean, it's the Lib Dems. Who gives a shit? Who gives a shit? But the really fun one, I saved this for the last, bros, is the Green Party Manifesto. You hyped? Check this out. End immigration detention unless a public safety danger. So they're just going to, let all the immigrants out. Hayes Review's first hit on the search engine for Securonomics took me to the Labour Party website. Third hit was for Chatham House. Sounds like it's a think tank term. Yeah, I'm almost certain it is a think tank term. If I had to make a guess off the top of my head, I would imagine it would be something like locking in things like interest rates and economic indicators so that they don't fluctuate wildly and just basically freak everybody out, which means, of course, more power to organs like the Bank of England and the Office for Budget Responsibility. And because their economic theories are completely fucked up, it means more inflation. But Nick, if you manage to figure out what Securonomics is, if you dump it in chat, I would be extremely grateful, bros. End the hostile environment. We don't have a hostile environment. What the fuck? For non-English viewers, the hostile environment was like a thing where, like, it was actually under the previous Labour government, and the Conservatives continued it, where basically they were trying to make things sort of uncomfortable for illegal immigrants. So they'd have buses driving around saying, if you're illegal, we're going to get you, we're going to send you fucking back. They had like TV programs where they would follow around immigration control officers and just generally basically trying to get the immigrants to be like, fuck off, we're full. And for some weird reason, the Greens think we still have that. Clearly, they are retarded. I really need a retarded emoji. If anyone's got an animated Pepe of like a Pepe like being like, that would be great. Remove minimum income requirements for spouse visas. Wow, a million more migrants. Provide safe routes for those fleeing persecution. More migrants. Replace the Home Office with a new Department of Migration, whose job basically would be more migrants. And abolish no resource to public funds conditions, so more migrants will all have access to the public purse. Great. Oh, mate, I'm so behind this. Dismantle nuclear weapons. Why does no one ever accuse the Green Party of being controlled by the Russians? Right? It's always the right wing. Oh, they're controlled by the Russians. I would have thought the Russians would be very, very keen to have the UK dissolve their nuclear weapons treaty. Focus on global peace building. Peace. Everybody wants some peace. Increase international aid for climate, so more taxes for the world government, more climate finance, new loss and damage fund, more money to the international organizations, more benefits for migrants, introduce universal basic income for the migrants. They love the migrants, the Green Parties. Replace the House of Lords, votes for 16-year-olds, end violence against women and girls. Well, there you go. What about violence against men? No one gives a shit about them. They can all fuck off, right? Get rid of prevent, tackle hate crime, and restore trust in police. Well, if you get rid of prevent, how are you supposed to tackle the hate crime? Why don't you just give Hope Not Hate their own government department and just let them have at it? Fucking hell, man. Replace all of UK electricity by wind. Oh, that's going to be great. Huge batteries, which can't be built. Here we go. We got an answer from Nick. Securonomics would prioritize economic strength with an increasingly interventionist state using public investment to underpin and unlock further private investment in key sectors. Communism. That's all you had to say. One step closer to the command economy. It's the Greens, basically. Right. Now, finally, our final story. Sorry, I gotta have a sip. Excuse me, bros. The EU had their elections. Now, these elections, of course, are really mainly for show. The EU Parliament doesn't really have much effect on the European Commission, which is where all the actual power is. But they did have like a vote, just to keep up appearances. And Ursula von der Leyen, she's very, very sad, bros. Sad Ursula. And you know why she's sad? Because the far right is rising, bros. Oh my God, 2 more weeks until Hitler is literally back in the Reichstag, bros, right? Wait, where's my fucking 2 more weeks sticker? 2 more weeks, and Hitler will be striding into the European chamber and being like, Ausländer raus kind of like thing. Oh, yes, we must stop the rise of the far right by any means possible. And of course, the best means is infinity migrants, bros, because everybody knows one thing about migrants is that they're not at all politically extreme, right? In 88, 40% in France, 33% in Germany, and 99% in Poland. Woo, mate. Poland, bros. Very, very nice. The ground beneath the feet of European Union leaders has shifted after voting across the 27-member bloc delivered a clear turn to the right. Oh no, bros. Oh no. Anything but a turn against the right. We're trying to do a communism here, bros. In the European Parliament, shaking up governments in member states and leaving mainstream groups at a crossroads. Yeah, man. They've, to combat, their unpopularity, they've tried everything except doing any of the things that their voters actually want. And of course, you can't do the things that you voters want because that is populism. Populism. Oh, I hate populism so much. What we need is a managed democracy. Oh, God, I fucking hate these people so much. European Commission President Ursula von der Leyen claimed victory after her centre-right... Von der Leyen is centre-right. Fuck off. European People's Party maintained the most seats of any single group, so nothing's going to change. J. Chiva loophole. Ursula, smash or pass. Ew! Come on, bro. Oh, dude. Don't put that image in my head. But so did far-right Eurosceptics and populist parties. Oh no. Including Marine Le Pen's national rally, whose triumph prompted a surprise call by French President Emmanuel Macron for snap elections, bros. The crushing blow inflicted on the Liberals in France and in the Greens in Germany looks set to make it tougher for a mainstream centrist alliance to set Europe's course for the next 5 years, compromising key EU projects, including the Green New Deal. Now, remember what I was saying about New Deals as a way to advance the Fabian cause. So it looks like they're going to have to put that off for a little bit. This is basically, how it broke down. The EPP, which is the party of the von der Leyen's party, got more, and they're like basically the largest bloc. They're very, very worried that I think the ECR are right wing. They got like more, but the Greens lost a bunch, and and ID. I don't know. I don't know who these people are. But I have been reliably informed that they are all absolutely racist and we should be extremely scared, bros. However, so yes, everyone is very, very worried. The right is making headways. So AfD did quite well. They're now the second largest party in Germany, which means presumably the German government is going to have to start conducting political assassinations. Geert Wilders' Party of Freedom won the most seats in the Netherlands, as did the Freedom Party in Austria, while Vlaams Belang topped the poll in Belgium. So there you go. It's the right wing, bros. They're on the march. However, it's not really going to change anything, as this poster has quite well pointed out. This will not change the fact that European elections were of absolutely no use. The von der Leyen party got even more. So yeah, as you can see, here we go. This is the, von der Leyen is large and in charge. And, of course, Ursula came out. She's like, oh, we must stop the far right. But she also included the far left. Now, this is a bit of a pivot because I had been reliably informed, bros, that there's absolutely nothing wrong with the far left. We are trying to do a communism after all. When the far right basically says, oh, maybe, we should have some policies that benefit white people. Oh my God, no. But when the left says, hey, we need to start literally starting fires in the street and smashing stuff up, then, anyway, so here's von der Leyen.
And if you look at, for example, Rassemblement National or AfD in Germany, or if you look at Возрождение or Konfederacja in Poland, all these may have different names and different principles, but they have one thing in common. They are friends of Putin and they want to destroy our Europe, and we will not allow this to happen.
Thank you.
Europe, of course, being the same as our democracy. Ours, not yours, right? You don't get to have a democracy or a Europe. You can fuck off, you plebs. Now, she has apparently said that the EPP will join with the Spanish Socialist Workers' Party to build a bastion against the far right. So, basically she's joined with the socialists in order to combat any move back to the right. And so she should. Goddamn reactionaries trying to take Europe back to a time before Fabian communism. I can't believe that such people would even countenance such an idea.
EPP is the strongest political group in the European Parliament. EPP has the most leaders. Together with others, we will build a bastion against the extremes from the left and from the right. EPP is the strong...
Now, Ainid88, very, very perceptive comments of you, Ainid. About 10 years ago when we were at Peak Globo Homo, a Eurobro pointed out to me that the EU structure is perfect for a right-wing takeover. It would allow control over all of Europe without a shot fired. Now, indeed, you are correct, Ainid. In fact, you could make a pretty convincing argument that this is actually what happened under Weimar Germany, because the left, they try and centralize control basically on the idea that as long as our guys are in charge. But if their guys should ever happen to not be in charge, the entire structure can swing the other way, which is, of course, why they spend so much time sort of cancelling, imprisoning, and generally harassing their political opponents, because they know that if there were ever a change at the top, the exact same mechanisms that they put in could be used against them, and that is not allowed. So she's going to be running again for the European Commission president. Oh, mate, do you think it's going to happen? Do you think von der Leyen will be voted back in as European Commission president? Oh, gee, I don't know, bros. It's a bit chancy. What are the chances of that? Yeah, she's going to be European president again for another 5 more years. And our final story. So now you're caught up. Our final story. This has been flying under the radar, bros, but this is potentially quite important. As of June 9th, the 50-year deal between the US and Saudi Arabia that underpins the petrodollar has expired. So about 50 years ago, the Saudis made an agreement with the US that they would only buy and sell oil in dollars, and this was the sort of fundamental underpinning of the petrodollar. This allowed the Americans essentially to print insane amounts of money and export that inflation overseas, because every country needed US dollars in order to buy oil. Now that this deal is over, a lot of those dollars are going to be flowing back into the US, and the inflation is going to be insane. Monk UK never interfere with an enemy when they are in the process of destroying one. So yeah, well, I agree. The 50-year-old petrodollar agreement between the US and Saudi Arabia was just allowed to expire. Now, just the fact that they allowed this to expire either indicates that the power of the US has waned significantly, which of course it has, or that the people running this weren't aware, and the Saudis just decided not to tell them, and they're like, yeah, don't tell the Americans that this is about to expire, right? So Saudi Arabia is now basically free to sell its oil in any country, in any currency they want. They can sell oil to the Chinese in yuan. They can sell oil to the Indians in rupees. And because this is the bedrock of the entire petrodollar system, this could have very, very bad effects on the entire Western economy, to be perfectly honest. The petrodollar agreement, formalized after the 1973 oil crisis, stipulated that Saudi Arabia would price its oil exports exclusively in US dollars and invest its surplus oil revenues in US Treasury bonds. This is also very, very important. all of the money that Saudi was making from selling this oil went into US bonds. And US bonds ain't what they used to be now, bros. In return, the US provided military support and protection to the kingdom. However, this also set off a bunch of unintended consequences, such as the rise of the Muslim Brotherhood and the rise of Sayyid Qutb, who was the sort of spiritual father to Osama bin Laden, regardless of how much Israeli interference there was in the founding of Al-Qaeda. This arrangement was a win-win situation for both. The US gained a stable source of oil and a captive market for its debt, while Saudi Arabia secured its economic and overall security. Now, this is the real question. What is Saudi Arabia going to do about security if they don't have the US providing security? Will they find another security provider? Will they provide their own security? I mean, I don't think that the Saudis are incapable of providing their own security. It's not 1974 anymore. Oil being denominated in US dollars alone has significance beyond the categories of oil and finance. By mandating that oil be sold in US dollars, the agreement elevated the dollar's status to the world's reserve currency. This, in turn, has profoundly impacted the US economy. The global demand for dollars to purchase oil has helped to keep the currency strong, making imports relatively cheap for American consumers. Additionally, the influx of foreign capital into US Treasury bonds has supported low interest rates and a robust bond market. Basically, strength of the dollar is the secret behind America's high standard of living. And without it, it's going to go away. It's going to go away. Yes, it's expired. Let me see. Is there anything else in this article that I haven't covered? No, that's about it. So that's the end of the news, bros. I will keep an eye on the petrodollar thing. If the US is smart, they will start pressuring the Saudis to renew this deal. However, you know what the Saudis are going to want in return? The Saudis are going to want the US to stop supporting Israel. And of course, the US can't do that, right? Supporting Israel is basically the US government's most important job at this point, and it will be like, when Donald Trump gets in as well, America and Israel are joined at the hip. So when Saudi says, oh, look, you got to stop supporting Israel, the Americans are going to be like, well, we can't do that. So the Saudis are probably going to be like, well, fuck you then. And so this eventually basically is the point. America's support for Israel is going to basically tank their entire country. And at some point, people are going to be like, why is this obscure country in the Middle East so incredibly important to stuff that we have to ruin our entire economy? And at that point, you will be declared an anti-Semite and probably locked in jail for honestly answering that question. Right. So that's the end of the news, bros. Let's get on to some cringe. This is my new cringe thing. I really like this. Really, bro? Really? Did you just post some cringe? How's that going to look on your social credit score? Not too good. Not too good, bros. Not too good. But I don't care. I am cringe, but I am free. So, happy Sodomy Month, everyone. Although the sodomy has been a little bit subdued this year, don't worry. In Washington, D.C., I believe the D.C. stands for Dick Cup. They are still out there doing their usual thing, and, Satan bless them, I guess.
Born again. The Bible says the old creation will pass away and you can become a new creation. And that happens as soon as we get baptized in the Holy Spirit.
yes, it does seem empty. Oh, it's on the 29th in London. Oh, Monk, did you have to tell me that? Yes, of course, the gays have to come to London. Oh. Maybe all the Muslims will turn up. Actually do something good for once. And be like, oh, inshallah, you know, we do not accept this faggotry. But yes, it's true. It doesn't seem to be a lot of crowds this year. Like, very, very thin on the ground. I wonder what happened, bros. I wonder what happened. Oh, dude. Yeah, look, usual generous. Like, you know what it's like. You know what time it is, bros. Let's see what else we got. The climate activists are back. I think they've been like, a bit on a break here because the weather's been really, really cold. They're basically going to come out when it's warm enough. But this is part of the summer of heat, bros. The summer of heat. The climate protesters, they're gonna bring the heat. This is them smashing up Citibank headquarters in New York.
That's it. Sorry, we have to wait a little while.
Stop.
So there you go, bros. The summer of heat. J. Cheever loophole. I once went to visit a friend in Brighton just as their Pride thing was going on. It was fucking horrific. They had gay thugs walking through the spectators demanding money with menaces. Fuck. What, reparations for being like non-gay? So wait, let's see what else have we got. Oh my God, is this fucking Al Gore?
Greetings to everyone attending this year's World Health Assembly. And thank you very much for allowing me to attend virtually. And let me especially thank the Director General and the entire World Health Organization for inviting me to give this short message about the intersection of the climate crisis and human health. As the WHO has long since declared, the climate crisis is now the biggest health threat facing humanity. And it's one that disproportionately harms the most vulnerable people on our planet. To begin with, worldwide, the co-pollution in our air from the burning of fossil fuels, the particulate pollution, kills an estimated 8.7 million people each year. There's a range of estimates. That's the one I think is the best, but
yeah, there's a range of estimates, but, that's the most extreme one, and so therefore, it's the one we're going with. More money, please. Money for the world government, please. We can't just come out and say, pay your world government tax. So instead, how about you give something, for the climate, for our dwindling resources, resource management, it has to be done. We can't just squander all our resources now. We need people to manage these resources, and these people need a vast amount of money.
it's unacceptably high among any of the estimates that you find. And by continuing to use our sky as if it's an open sewer, we're putting even more lives at risk as our planet continues to warm.
Is he talking about people farting? We're using our sky as an open, so all these people like farting. I don't know. Perhaps you should talk to the Indians about that. I don't know. I mean, is it going to be like a war on bad smells next? Oh, for fuck's sake.
When I use the word sky, I'm referring to this thin blue line that surrounds the Earth as a thin shell that you see on the picture behind me that the astronauts bring back from space. That line is blue because that's where the oxygen is that refracts the light, and it's so thin that if we could drive a car straight up in the air at interstate highway speeds, we'd get to the top of that thin blue line in about 5 to 7 minutes. And the heat-trapping pollution accumulates there and traps so much heat that now in the tropics and subtropics, the combination of that heat and the extra humidity evaporating off the warmer oceans held in larger quantities by the warmer air is now causing many areas to become physiologically unlivable. The areas that are uninhabitable now are relatively small, but unless we stop the use of the sky as an open sewer, unless we stop the buildup of this heat-trapping pollution, those areas that are physiologically unlivable are predicted to expand, and billions of people will find themselves living in areas where it's no longer safe to stay outside for more than a couple of hours.
Oh, fuck off. Fuck off and just keep fucking off. Oh my God. Olivia Drusilla, did you read that the UK Weather Department has released a statement that this May was the hottest spring in history? It's bloody freezing in London. It's like the middle of fucking summer. It's like the hottest spring in history. Bloody fucking hell. Oh yeah, so this is like crazy. So this is Lindsey Graham basically saying that the reason why millions have to die in Ukraine is because they're sitting on a whole bunch of minerals. I don't believe that this is the real reason, by the way. This is the Iraq war play, right? Where they say, oh yeah, actually, you know, the reason why we're doing it is because of the resources, because they can't admit that the real reasons are religious and genocidal.
What did Trump do to get the weapons flowing? He created a loan system. They're sitting on $10 to $12 trillion of critical minerals in Ukraine. They could be the richest country in all of Europe. I don't want to give that money and those assets to Putin to share with China. If we help Ukraine now, they can become the best business partner we ever dreamed of. That $10 to $12 trillion of critical mineral assets could be used by Ukraine and the West, not given to Putin and China. This is a very big deal, how Ukraine ends. Let's help them win a war we can't afford to lose. Let's find a solution to this war. But they're sitting on a gold mine to give Putin $10 or $12 trillion of critical minerals that he will share with China is ridiculous.
I thought it was about democracy and defending our greatest ally and, you know, the rules-based liberal order. Oh, you know, I'm starting to suspect, bros, that these people aren't being entirely honest. Of course, you know, again, Lindsay says whatever the Israelis tell him, like, just to a ridiculous degree. Remember that thing I played on last show with him and Netanyahu just being like, say the line, say the line. We got a new ad from Biden and co. about the dangers of Donald Trump, bros. Donald Trump, he's very, very dangerous because of January 6th. Check it out.
On January 6th, Donald Trump lit a fire in this country.
140 officers were injured. The siege lasted for 7 hours.
Stoking the flames of division and hate. Now he's pouring gasoline.
They were unbelievable patriots.
Pledging to pardon the extremists who tried to overthrow our government.
We will give them pardons.
Inciting them to try again. There is nothing more sacred than our democracy. But Donald Trump's ready to burn it all down.
I'm Joe Biden, and I approve this message.
This is literally USSR tier shit here, man. Like, this is like crazy. It's like the intro to Habbening TV. Trump is, you know, he's going to free the patriots. He's going to take over a country, and oh my God, we need more gay space communism, bros. So sick of this, bros. Well, you know, at least it's amusing. You know, we can laugh about it. Oh man, so Trudeau is increasingly in a weird position, right? All the magic words have stopped working, and he's very, very puzzled by that, right? Because, of course, he was reliably informed that you can just keep calling people like racist and far-right and extremists literally until the entire country burns down and you're basically living in the street and all of your homes are taken over by the Pajits and Pajitas and no one would notice. Oh, by the way, I totally forgot because I suck at chilling. Super chats, send them to Entropy if you want to. I really have to learn to be better at the shilling. Anyway, insufferable Trudeau. Enjoy.
We have seen around the world a rise of populist right-wing forces in just about every democracy that we've seen. And it is of concern to see political parties choosing to instrumentalize anger, fear, division, anxiety. My approach has always been to respond to it, to understand it and to look to solve it, to roll up our sleeves, work hard, and with ambition for this country and for our future. And I continue to be convinced that Canadians are thoughtful about the challenges we're facing and ready to see them solved, rather than just allow themselves to be have their anger amplified without any solutions offered.
And what are these solutions you're offering, Mr. Trudeau? Could it be infinity migrants and totalitarianism? Oh, we must not involve ourselves in the politics of anger, bros. Just let us do whatever the hell we want without being in any way pissed off. Yeah, he's gonna get like absolutely destroyed in the next election. But again, containment being what it is, you know, they'll get in someone who will they'll dial it back a little bit. 2 steps forward, 1 step back. That's how you do the totalitarian tiptoe. Right, we got some funny videos for you here. You know, just a bit of eye bleach to cleanse for you all. We don't want you to go away with you know, a down attitude. Check this out.
Turn around and tell those people. Tell them. I'm not gay no more. I am delivered. I don't like men no more. I said I like women. Women. I said women. I'm not gay. I would not date a man. I would not carry a purse. I would not put on makeup. I will love a woman. Now listen, y'all praise God with him.
Yes, sir. I is not gay anymore. I loves the women. I loves their booties. I mean, you know, if it's genuine, you know, like, I hope the best for the guy, but yeah, I don't know, man. Black churches, dude. Fucking hilarious. All right, what else have we got? Oh, and we got a bunch of, like, more zero seat stuff. People have been pumping these out on the regular, and although I'm not going to vote for Labor, I'm going to vote Reform, right? Labor can, like, fuck off. They're already going to get, like, enough seats as it is. I can't, mate. I just... Never vote for the communists. Not even once, bros. But here, check it out.
So we better get started. First, with our exit poll, which even now I can't reveal until Big Ben strikes. 10, remember this is an exit poll, very carefully calculated, not necessarily on the nail. But here it is, 10 o'clock. And we are saying that the Conservative Party have won 0 seats. Rishi Sunak has led the most successful and tenacious political party in history into oblivion.
We have just received word that David Cameron has entered such a deep state of shock that he has not brought up gay marriage in 5 whole minutes.
Hayes Reviews, just realized this is a parody. Yeah, I know, they're pretty fucking good, aren't they, man? Like, the you know, the Zero Seats crowd are, like, really doing that, like, great culture jamming thing where, like, for a bit you can't tell. By the way, that's a picture of Peter Hitchens on the wall, by the way. Hitchens quite famously advocated for 0 seats, like, about 10 years ago, and he's now going around telling everyone they have to vote for Labor because it's over. You know, there's nothing that can be done now, and that he hopes that he'll be dead by the time Labor gets into power. It's not very sort of generationally thinking of him. We got more 0 seats. This is from, I forget who this is from, but this is, like, funny as hell. Enjoy.
So you're voting for Nigel, you're voting Reform. You've had enough and now you want to see them reform. And tell me how you thought about this content reform. The Tories get 0 seats. So do me a favour when cometh the day, as the ballot box's ballot lock is taken away, and you put a vote for Labour in the box
Yeah, actually, that was made by Chris Gard, who does the music for Academic Agent. Salutes to you, Mr. Gard. That's pretty goddamn awesome. Right, we got like funny stuff. Wait, let me just check if anyone has donated on Entropy. Oh, we do. We've got a couple of people on Entropy from Plasma. Thank you very much. The things I would do to Castro, his suffering would be legendary even in hell. It would involve thunderstorms, basements, and car batteries, and Warwick Davis. Oh, Warwick Davis. Oh, my God. You nasty, nasty man. Warwick Davis is too far. Thank you very much, Plasma. I really appreciate it. And from Jeffrey Mill, welcome back to this side of the Atlantic, Mr. Fist. Thanks for the stream. Have a great weekend. Thank you very much, Jeffrey. Wait, oh, hang on. I got to do the love heart and the confetti of color. Thank you so much for the support, guys. It means so much. I really, really appreciate it. No one likes to work for free, after all. Right, we got some funny videos now. I think we're still on the funny videos thing. Wait, where's the... Turn off the dancing girl. Right. This is the 100 Biter Challenge. Sadie Sapiente sent me this. This is really good.
What's up, guys? Today, we're doing the Hunter Biden Challenge, where every time the trial mentions the word crack, I take a hit of crack. First time doing crack. Said it again. Shit. Okay, this is gonna be a fun one. USA! I'm on crack. Today we're gonna create a time machine.
Hunter Biden is misunderstood.
They're coming for me. I see what the hype's about.
Oh, dear. Oh, this is funny.
Oh, Christ, here we go. Bloody teal voter. Just stop oil. I'll get him with the door. Just stop oil. Oil is king, mate.
God bless the Aussies. What else we got? Oh, now this is really good. Nick from Hayes Reviews posted this. Thank you very much, Nick. This is absolutely awesome.
Jason, take an axe to people's money.
What?
And then take some.
What? Why?
Because we can, Jason.
I don't think that's a reason, sir.
Oh, fine, Jason. To build the roadie things and the schools and questionable things that we won't reveal.
Okay, and what's this axe called?
It's called the axe.
Oh no, what does that mean?
Traumatizing axe.
What?
Incoming!
Do you mean income?
Yes, Jason, to axe the income.
Oh, sir, but people work hard for that money.
Yes, Jason, and we will work hard to axe it.
Sir, what if you don't earn much money?
Oh, that's boring. You can keep it.
What if you earn a medium amount of money?
The to axe is coming for you.
Really? What if you earn an absolute bucket load of money?
What money?
Sir, no.
Land.
What?
Take some money from people who own land, Jason.
Just once?
What? No, Jason. We'll forget they have the land every year.
I think that's amnesia, sir.
Excuse me, do you still own that land?
Yes.
Gimme.
Right, well, what about a house?
Jason, make it the dream to own a house.
Oh, okay, that's great.
And when you buy the house, you get a little stamp on the contract, Jason.
Oh, I love stamps.
Me too, Jason.
Great.
Make the stamp cost 50 grand.
I don't want the stamp.
It's already there.
What the hell?
Ink is expensive, Jason. Have you never bought a printer?
Yes, I have.
Congratulations, you just bought a house.
I guess that's the dream.
Rates.
What's that? So I've just bought a house and I have to pay...
Stamp duty.
And where does that go?
The state government, Jason.
And if I have to pay land tax, where does that go?
The state government, Jason.
What about the rates? The state government?
No, Jason, that goes to the local government. What are you, stupid?
Right, okay, what about income tax?
I could go to the federal government.
What?
Oh, wait, Jason, I've had an idea.
Please, no.
Put 10% on everything.
Where does that go?
The federal government.
Okay.
And then the state government.
What? And then the local government?
No, Jason! What are you, stupid? Listen!
Anything else?
Jason, make people put money away for their retirement.
Oh, okay, that's a good way of saving, I guess, sir.
Put it in a metaphorical safe so you can't touch it, Jason.
Oh, okay. Not even the to-axe?
No, Jason! Nothing is immune from the to-axe.
Okay, but no one else can touch it.
of fees.
What? Why? You made them put it in there.
Jason. We wouldn't want people retiring comfortably. What are you, stupid?
And what is this called?
Stupor.
Stupor? What? No.
Yeah, Jason. Superannuation.
I'll just write down superannuation. What if I buy a car?
I'll get my stamp out.
No, not again.
Jason, I'm getting bored. Tell me what a company does.
They earn profit?
Take some of that.
They pay employees?
Take some of that too.
They give employees benefits?
Take some.
What?
Then what happens, Jason?
Well, the employees get paid and then the money's theirs.
Ooh, that sounds like I should get the tax out.
No, sir, it just sounds like people are constantly leaking money because of your tax.
A levy, Jason.
Oh, I see. You build a levy to stop the water getting out.
No, Jason. A levy means to raise funds for my endeavours.
So it's basically just another
tax.
Right.
Healthcare levy.
Okay, healthcare, that's good.
Make it for everyone, Jason. But if you have more money, you pay more levy.
Wait, hang on, that's not... Why?
Well, they don't have to pay more levy, Jason, if they take out private health insurance.
And how much is that?
Exorbitant.
Sir, can we just hold the tax for a second, sir?
I will put the tax away for 1 second. Your time starts now.
How do people actually pay these taxes?
Jason, let's calculate the taxes at the end of the year.
Okay, that makes sense.
But make the end of the year in the middle of the year.
What?
You heard me.
Right, so at the end of the middle of the year, you'll tell us how much tax to pay?
Yes, Jason.
Okay.
But also, no, Jason.
What?
We'll have the money in advance, thanks.
Sorry, but how do you know how much?
Jason, make it so we will not know how much.
But why do you take it first?
Jason, I want to look at it for a while.
What if the middle of the end of the year comes and I've paid too much?
Well, I'll do the right thing, Jason, and give you a little back.
Okay, so you take care of...
You will have to tell us when you want us to look at the calculations.
Sorry? But you know how much?
Pretty much.
But we also have to tell you?
Yeah.
And then what?
We'll do the calculations, Jason.
But you have the money?
Yes, Jason. Or when make a company have its own year.
What?
Its own little year starts and ends when it started.
Oh my God, this makes no sense at all.
That's the point, Jason.
So what happens if people can't pay their tax?
Fine.
Fine.
Yeah, fine.
Totally fine.
Yeah, totally a fine.
What? No. Oh, sir.
Shut up, Jason.
Sir, where do people keep their money?
In a big, huge, secure building, Jason.
Oh, like a safe?
Yeah, a safe.
So is it safe? My God, sir.
Smells like another video, Jason. Anyway, I've got to go.
Bye. This will never catch on.
Jason, don't screw that up. You'll need that for tax purposes.
I know, a bit long, but I thought that was pretty good. Right, cute animal time. I know you guys love the cute animals. Enjoy. Man, those are some well-trained kitties. What else have we got? Kitties being derps.
Oh no!
Vậy bạn ơi.
Look, it's just a slip.
Right, what else have we got? This is cute. Don't do that. Just a cat wandering through an orchestra. Right. This is very stupid, but pretty awesome. Cat Vader to the rescue. This is cute. And this is just incredibly wholesome. They look so happy. And our final cute animal video of the night. Enjoy. And that's the end of the show, everyone. Thank you so much for coming along. Thank you to all the people who have donated. Well, only just two of them, but thank you to both of them. I will be back on Monday, no Empire of Lies tonight, because Yiz is sick. Yiz, if you are listening to this, I wish you the best of health and, get better soon. Everybody send a prayer her way. Shout out to all the people from the All Glory Club. If you're listening to this, it was a very memorable weekend. I will see you on Monday. I hope everyone has a great weekend. Let's just say goodbye to everyone. Fox39 Forever, Teabagging Therapist, Crisby13, Sede Sapiente, Total Blackout Painting, Hayes Reviews, of course. Thanks for coming along, Nick. Always good to see you. Proper Pictures, who I believe has left, but, let's see, I think that... Oh, and Livia Drusilla, of course. I cannot forget. That's the Rumble chat. In YouTube, we have Streaky Bacon, Charlie Reedy, Timmy Bobinson. Let's see, anybody else? I think that's everyone. And Total Blackout Painting, of course. Double teaming it. Thanks very much. And in the Odysee chat, Jeffrey Mill, Ainid88. Thanks for coming along, man. Really, really good comments. Cyberpunk Internal Affairs, good to see you, man. Plasma, thank you very much for the donation. And I think... Oh, Highland Full, good to see you as well. I think that's everybody. Right, have an excellent weekend, bros. I will see you on Monday. Take care of yourself. Good night, bros.